your long drives. Was that the tempo that you've been trying to get to?
There's no doubt. And it all goes back to whether it's getting a third down conversion to get a drive going. Most of the time it's got to be through the air. Or if it's off a play action, hitting a play of 15, 20, 25 or more down the field. And once you get that, you can get a defense in disarray and you can get your tempo going. But, you asked the question and you did too. That is the tempo we want. The common denominator is we hit an explosive pass.
Rhett, having said that and knowing that the passing game wasn't as big a part of the plan in this game, how did Nick grade out when he does convert on those third downs, does get the tempo better, has a great day on the ground? How did he grade out?
I think Nick played a good game. I think this is probably overall, I know statistically throwing, he's had a better day, but probably his best game. He had one poor decision. We threw a ball to the sideline that could have been intercepted. Really should have been. The other two throws I alluded to were just poor throws, but they were great reads, good decisions. Just got to make the throw. Part of the going in, the plan was to definitely throw the football. It wasn't to not throw the football, but like I said, we're up 13-3 at the end of the first quarter, and we've been on the field 3 minutes. And so at that point, we said, man, our defense is playing good, but the way their tempo is, the way ours is, we got to help them. And so we did make a concerted effort in the second quarter to run the football, and when we started having success, you just kind of stick with it. I thought we ran the ball good in the second and third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, part of me thinks, we probably got a little conservative at times. At the same time, I like to think if we don't fumble those footballs, it never got as close as it did at the end. And, it would have been a little more fun at the end than it was time. So.
Kiehl Frazier, saw on the slide a couple times, is that more or less for run blocking, big body type guy, or do you see him?
Some of it, Kiehl is a big physical guy. He's a good athlete. He knows our system. So you can plug him in 2 weeks' time, and he may not know all the nuances of receiver, but he has a good idea of the scheme because he's played quarterback in it. Part of we lost Jalen. We had 2 weeks, and then, like I said, CJ was a little nicked up. Didn't know if he was going to be able to go. So, we knew Kyle and Brandon Foltz were going to have to pick up more of the load, and I thought they did a pretty good job overall. And, Kyle will continue to be a part of what we're doing out there, and it'll also be good to get CJ back.
Gus had said that a decision was going to be made during the bye week about Kyle and whether it be on offense or defense. So is he now an offensive player? Yeah,
I don't know if I can say there's not any scenario that would send him back to defense, but he's going to definitely be heavily on the offensive side. And, Kyle gives us that flexibility. He can play in the slot, he can play outside, like Kodi Burns kind of did when he ended up making the move. At the same time, you can put him in the backfield, and he's a run and a pass threat. He's not like snapping it to a guy that can't throw it. He's a guy that can run the football and throw the football. So he gives us a lot of versatility. But yeah, Kyle will be more involved in offense.
Looking ahead, you might have a chance to play some more guys this weekend against Western Carolina. Are there any guys in practice who kind of stood out to you, maybe hadn't had a chance to play yet, but could get in there Saturday?
First and foremost, we got to go win the football game.
Right.
And we got to play well. I'm more concerned with us playing well. I want us to be crisp and not go out and slop around and have penalties. We did only have one penalty I thought was a positive last night. There's some guys like a Tony Stevens, that you'd like to get more action. Marcus Davis is already playing more. I think a guy like an Avery Young, maybe try to get him more meaningful reps too. But we're going into this game like we do any other game. We're going to go with the guys that we got. We're getting healthy in most spots, and we're, like I said, I want us to execute and be crisp. And then it goes back to your question: what happened on those 3 or 4 scoring drives? Well, we were executing. It's just that simple.
Not to say that you're overlooking anybody or anything like that.
Yeah.
You do also play a tough opponent in A&M 2 weeks from now. So when you are preparing this week, how much do you also start to prepare and be conscious of the fact that you are going to be playing a very challenging opponent? They may not show as much this upcoming week.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of different philosophies. Some people want to just spend a week and just work on the next opponent, and some people don't. We're more of the mindset we want to treat it we want to try to keep things consistent for our guys. So for the most part, it's going to be a normal game week. We're preparing for one opponent. We're not going to really work ahead at all. We're going to look at them tonight, tomorrow, like we would anybody, and what do we think we need in this game plan to go win the game and to be successful? And whatever that is, we're going to take it in there. I don't think there's any doubt we're not to the point that we can do things like that. We got to go out and worry about us executing and playing well and take it one game at a time, because if we start trying to do something like that, I don't know if we're to the point that that would be a good decision.
How much of some of the misconnections with the receivers, because on those drives, the long pass plays you're talking about, 2 of them were to Trey Mason. So
yeah.
How much of the are there issues issues with kind of the relationship he has with some of his
I don't think so. You know, we dropped a third down ball. Like I said, there was consecutive plays in a row that, you know, the reads were right, the routes were right. I don't think there was any not being on the same page. It's just a matter of making the throw, you know, or making the catch. And, you know, there's a fine line between being right on. I mean, the reads were good. Like I said, that's the positive. We're making good decisions. We know where we're going with it. Guys are in the right spots, and now it's making the plays. And you know, I sit over there on the sidelines and I watch our defense is covering their tail off against some really good players. But the times they move the chains, it's because a guy makes a play. It's not because he was wide open. I mean, they were having to make some really tough catches, and that's because our defense is playing really good back there. We've got to do the same thing. They're not always going to be wide open. You're going to have to make a great throw in tight coverage. You're going to have to make a big-time – you know, let's bail the quarterback out every now and then when he doesn't throw it right on the money. Or, hey, let's put the ball in a position where the receiver can make a great catch. Those are things you got to do, and you got to move the chains. So third down is a big emphasis for us in making those plays to get explosive drives going. I mean, that's got to be a big key and emphasis for us this week.
All right, thanks.